Hey, this is CJ.
And I'm Reimy.
And you're listening to Jam Chats
on BYU Radio.
Hey everybody, I'm CJ.
And I'm Reimy.
And we're here in Studio 2 of BYU Radio, kind of a new studio for us.
Yeah.
And today we're going to recap Season 1 of Jam Chats.
We want to go through all of our favorite moments, some of the best moments, maybe some funny moments.
And maybe some moments that you didn't actually catch because they are premiering today.
That's right. We wanted to throw in just a couple little tidbits of things that we wanted to include in the season, but didn't quite make it to some of the episodes.
Some fun outtakes. I'm excited about it.
Me too. If you notice in the back, we've got a little splash of color based on a Fender Sunburst.
Yes. So my dad, little quick story here. My dad had a 1969 Fender Jazz bass, Sunburst, and I just loved that bass. I played it in my band. I was in a band called Deep Ocean in high school. Don't look it up. Don't look it up, everybody.
Don't worry. Everybody knows that you were because you mentioned plenty of times on the show. Hey, guys, just so you know, I was in a band.
This is supposed to be kind of like my Sunburst, my dad's Fender Jazz bass Sunburst.
Look, it's nice. It's nice.
Everybody should know Reimy's voice because Reimy on the season of Jam Chats, our inaugural season of Jam Chats, gave some incredible insight to some of these songs and his thoughts and feelings. And Reimy, I thought you did a good job hosting this.
That's very kind of you. And you did all right.
Well, you can tell we like each other.
No, it was great. I think
it was good. But, to be fair, this is our first season.
Look, see, I was really surprised at the artists that we were able to get on the show. I was really happy with some of the things that I learned, some of the things that we discovered about the show, about their music, and particularly just about music. I really, really enjoyed this season.
Same. I don't know. Let me ask you this question. Could you imagine at the very beginning, thinking about this season, that we would have had this high of caliber of artists on the show?
Oh, I was dumbfounded. People actually said yes and wanted to be on the show.
On our little old podcast.
Just this cute little podcast.
But Jam Chats feels like it's bigger than us, right? It's bigger than us. What I love the most about this season that I've learned is just that music is a healing source to people. We saw that that theme come up over and over and over again as music as a way to heal through all sorts of different pains. We talked a lot about the theme of sad songs in this season. So, yeah, I learned a ton. I had a blast.
Yeah, I kind of want to dive in a little bit to what you're saying about some of the artists that we had and some of the things that we learned. I was really impressed by how smart some of these songwriters are. All of these songwriters, I shouldn't say some.
A couple of them were just...
A couple of them were kind of meh. No, let me tell you about one of my favorite things that I learned.
Yeah, tell me.
And that was actually from Kimberly Knighton.
Kimberly Knighton. Now, she was one of my favorite artists on this show, just purely because I just think she's one of the best musicians we had on the season.
Yeah.
Just incredible musician.
Yes. And at that particular moment when we were talking with her, I was just coming off of my 30th birthday, and so I was kind of just trying to figure out life and felt like I just had to change the world and go do all these amazing things because I hadn't really accomplished very much as a 30-year-old. And then she pulls out this song, and it kind of blew me away that it spoke almost exactly to me.
What song are you referring to?
So the song that I'm talking about is called "We Don't Have to Save the World."
So before I got married, I was feeling a little bit down and out because I had expected my life to kind of go a certain way. I would be married and have kids by this point. I was 31 when I got married. So I believe I wrote this song when I was 30. So I was still dating my now husband. But I was just thinking about, what do I have to show for my last 30 years? It wasn't what I thought. And so this song is kind of about how can we make a difference without having all of the big milestones and feeling like we've really made, quote unquote, a difference in the world.
So maybe you and I will never know we were needed. Maybe it's enough just to know we tried. We might not make the headlines or mark these signs, but we don't have to save the world before we leave it. Just leave it better than we found it. I'll leave it better than I found it.
So what I loved about this is just that she was, number one, going through a lot of the same things that I was at the same age that I was, and just recognizing that we put way too much pressure on ourselves as human beings, and just focusing on the little things that we can do, and it makes a big difference in the long run. I really, really loved her perspective on it.
Yeah, and as I recall from that episode, she was in a place in her life where maybe she was a little bit disappointed, because I remember asking her that question.
Yeah.
She had gone out to Nashville to quote unquote make it as a songwriter, not as a singer. And so I think this song came about kind of as healing for her, that she didn't have to go out there and quote unquote make it, like we talked about with a lot of the artists on this episode. I thought that was really vulnerable. It's a beautiful song.
She's super vulnerable, and it really showed me very quickly that if it doesn't always have to be the same circumstances that people are going through, but the music is such a unifying power that, you know, the songwriter experienced something. They went through this trauma or this struggle or this joyous experience, and they try to encapsulate it. And it's not anything, people aren't relating to the experience necessarily, but they're experiencing to that feeling. You know, it's that deeper feeling that we're all connecting to. And even though our stories are different, we all can connect on that moment. That's what I love about music, is it just brings everybody together.
Yeah, you really connected with that song, but I don't know if we ever really heard from your perspective why you connected. You said you were 30, but how come you connected with that song so much?
Look, I'm a person who, I just want to go and save the world. I feel like I want to go and do these amazing things. I dream about, I could go and make a big difference in this, you know, in the music industry, or go and serve across the world and serve in a third world country, or, you know, I want to make a big impact. And right now in my life, I'm living in Utah, hosting a podcast, working at BYU Broadcasting. It's not anything where it's like, wow, you're really changing the world.
It's not exotic or anything.
It's not
like
exotic.
That. Yeah.
But that's not the point of life.
You're kind of grinding right now.
I'm kind of grinding. And I think people don't think, I'm going to go change the world. They just focus on their world and what they can do, and they try to make a difference, but they don't have to go and change the world. So
super good song, super great artist. Kimberly was so kind to be on the show and share her talents with us on that.
So CJ, I see that you have a friend here on the table.
A friend?
Well, yeah, I see his face right here.
This.
Yeah.
This thing right here? This thing right here?
Yeah. Well, tell me what that is.
Okay, so one thing about having video is we can show you some props that we got.
Yeah.
We can show you some visual aids.
Yes.
One thing is one of the artists, Dominic Moore, if you remember his episode.
Loved Dominic's episode.
Loved that episode. Well, Dominic is a very creative person. He's been singing for decades now, actually.
Yeah.
One thing cool about Dominic is not only is he a musician, but he's also a doctor.
Yeah.
And he works with kids.
Yeah.
Specifically kids maybe with really hard challenges.
Yeah.
Right? Sometime at the end of their life because they're struggling with a terminal illness. So Dominic is a very good person and a very good doctor. But he's super creative, and he came up with this for one of his albums. He came up with like a coloring book. Just so cool. And he gave me and Reimy one, and he signed it. And because all the songs on this album, the album's called Amateur Sketches of Famous and Important People. Yeah. We played a couple songs off this album on the episode. But if you go into this coloring book, you can see some of the, each one of the songs has a picture about it. I think one of the songs was called Pocahontas, which I thought was really cool. And there it is.
Yep.
Page 2 right there.
Look, there's Pocahontas, which is one of the songs that we showed on the episode.
And he gave us a record, too, like a real record.
And gave us a vinyl record.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I loved Dominic's episode because he was so warm and so thoughtful about everything that he does. And I mean, you have to be when you're in palliative care.
I think I learned about how to care for people from Dominic's episode. I really, like, no joke, I was taking notes on how to take care of people.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, I've been doing it the opposite way that he suggested. And I could see some incredible wisdom from some of the things he taught. So you got to go back to that episode and check it out.
Yeah, please
do. It was a great one.
Rewrote your history, then took out all the tragedy, enunciating highs and mumbling through the lows. You know that all we have is who we are. All we know is that we've come so far. You painted a mural of a Mississippi girl who traveled round the world just to come back home. Through builders of the pyramids, the pilgrims and the indie kids, hucking all the paper plates through the glass doors. You know that all we have is who we are.
Let's talk about someone else on the show.
One of the artists that I was really surprised by was Allie Barker.
Allie. Okay, so I have to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit on about Allie.
Do it.
I actually knew Allie because we are in the same church congregation. And so that's how I met her. And she told me that she played music, and I said, let's get you on the show.
Yeah.
I didn't really know much about her music when she agreed to be on the show. So it was kind of a surprise to me, when she started singing.
Yeah.
I just got to know her as a person, as a neighbor, as a friend, and her personality, which was, of course, she worked with the young women in our ward, and she was super good with the young women. Yeah. She had served a mission in New Zealand, and my daughter's on a mission in New Zealand, so kind of that was the connection. But I didn't know anything about her music. And I was really surprised by her music. It's funny because her music is kind of pop, and it's like a little bit, it's kind of quirky and things like that. But if you go deeper into those songs, if you listen deeper, there's some really vulnerable themes that she was able to bring out in some of those songs.
Look, when you brought the idea of Allie to me and we were going to have her on the show, the way you pitched it was, oh yeah, I've got somebody in my neighborhood, somebody that I know. I don't really know her music, but we're going to have her on the the And I was
you
going,
thought I was doing a favor.
Look, I thought you were doing a favor.
Yeah.
And I was going, I don't know about this, CJ. I'm just, I had really, I wasn't very positive about it, I'll be honest. And after doing the interview and putting out the episode, I have had more people reach out to me about Allie's episode than anybody else.
For real.
And what I love about Allie is Allie's not a big artist. She's one of our up-and-coming artists, and I loved her music because it was so Allie.
Yeah.
It didn't have any other influences.
Yeah, she hasn't had as much critical acclaim or award-winning songs, or hasn't been on The Voice or American Idol.
Right.
But her songs really touched you and touched me. Yeah, I know. The vulnerability, we talked about that a little bit. Also, just like she had a way of talking about songs that were like really hurt, like kind of deep and sad songs, but like in a way that was sort of light and easy to listen to. And
that's what our listeners connected with.
Yeah.
That's from what we've seen. We've gotten some really,
she
really
might
good
have been
responses.
Our youngest artist too on the season.
Yep, she's probably the youngest, and I think it was one of the more impactful episodes on the season. So kudos to Allie. I want to play my favorite part of her episode.
Do it.
I met someone once, and they said, I was introducing myself, and they're like, oh, what do you like to do, and all of that. And I said, oh, I love to write music. And their immediate response was, you must be very sad inside. And I was like, I wasn't used to that response. It caught me off guard, because usually people are like, oh, you should go on American Idol. And it's like, for someone to go, you must be sad inside, it really made me think, and I started to think about why would they say that? And it's because they hear the sad music and they hear these things. And I think that all of art is expressing just what people feel in general, what humanity feels. Just because someone writes music doesn't mean they're a sadder person. It just means they're expressing it.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
So I just want to say that because sometimes we all experience hard things. We all experience sad things. But it's just giving a voice to that instead of saying, I don't experience any sadness. I'm fine. He says to me, you look like you have Bambi eyes. Naivety, purity, soft and undisguised. I want to tell him, I want to tell him, I want to tell him, it's men like you who took away my Bambi eyes.
Man, I love Allie's insight here where she says that I'm not a sad person. I'm just able to explain it. I'm able to just talk about it. And I had never thought about songwriters in that way, but they are so great at putting things to words that we feel, but we can't really say.
Through the whole season, Reimy, we talked about sad songs. It seemed like it came up every single episode.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, I felt like, man, did we just pick sad artists?
Right.
But I feel like Allie did the best job articulating what it meant, like why sad songs work.
Yes.
And how they heal. Anyway, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It was good.
So speaking of sad songs, out of our artists with all the sad songs, is there an artist that you can think of that maybe made you think about sad songs a little bit more?
Well, again, several of the artists had sad songs, but only one had an album called Sad Songs.
That's right.
And that was Dustin Christensen.
Dustin, yeah.
Yeah. So Dustin's episode was amazing.
Yeah. What did you like about it?
Well, again, this is one of those artists that I've known since I was 20 years old. So that's like 27.
I can't tell people how old I am.
It was more than 20 years ago that I met Dustin. And I've seen Dustin grow as an artist. I've seen him, he was playing music that was rock and roll. He did Americana kind of music. And then now he's mostly focused on country music because he is a country songwriter. So I've seen Dustin evolve over the years. But the one thing that Dustin has that I just think is so incredible is he can just come up with music. He is so prolific in his songwriting. He can write 3 or 4 songs a day.
Yeah.
Like good melodies, good songs. And so what I was most impressed with Dustin is his ability to write songs.
Yeah. Well, I want to pull back the curtain now. I want to share something that we didn't share on Dustin's episode.
Oh, I hope it's that one thing.
I think it is that one thing. So in between recording, we were just kind of goofing off with him. And we were talking about one of the shows on BYU Radio. We were talking about Constant Wonder. And he was just sitting at the piano. And
we made him come up with the song like on the spot.
Yes.
Like as you're playing, like sit down and now do that. We didn't even give him 10 seconds.
We didn't even give him 10 seconds.
Yeah.
He just kind of went for it. And so I want to play it for everybody because this is freaking awesome.
Let's hear it. Okay, here we go. Dustin Christensen.
I don't know what this. Constant wonder. We got nature, we've got cool things. Constant wonder with Marcus Smith and the whole team.
You can hear me laughing. Okay, yeah. I couldn't stop laughing. Dustin is. People think he's just a serious person because he writes a lot of serious songs.
Yeah.
But you know what his number one hit is?
It's underneath Dean Summerlin.
Yeah, the name
Parked Out by the Lake.
Parked Out by the Lake. Now that's important because Parked Out by the Lake became a viral sensation.
Yeah.
And we asked him on this episode, we won't play it right now, but we asked him on this episode, how did he feel that after all these years of songwriting, that the one song that finally got kind of viral, people like, huge country artists, huge country artists were tweeting it.
Oh, it was other artists too. It was artists across all different genres that were picking this up and going, wow, this is incredible.
Yeah, exactly. Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
He had so many great artists kind of tweeting it. And I asked him, how do you feel that the song that was kind of just the goofball song ended up being the song that went viral? And, did that make you disappointed or anything like that? And I think he was pretty positive with the response.
I was really impressed with his response because it was very much like, you know what? It is what it is, and we just keep writing. And I'm not worried about the fame. I'm just making a living as a songwriter, and I'm doing what I love. And it's about the craft. It's not about the success. So I loved that.
I did too. And he did give us an exclusive live performance of that song, Parked Out by the Lake. So after you listen to this episode, everybody, go back to Dustin's episode. It's the last song on that episode, and check out Parked Out by the Lake live version. It's pretty good.
So speaking of shenanigans that we had in the studio, another thing that we did was with Garen Brett. Do you remember that?
Oh, how could I forget that one, Reimy?
So what we did is...
That was the best thing we've ever done, and I wish we would have done more of that this season.
I know. We had a lot of fun.
We just, you don't want a 3-hour podcast, or do you?
That's right. Well, I mean, maybe I do, but I don't think the rest of our audience does. But so we took Garen and we had him get ready to sing Deja Vu.
And Deja Vu is one of our favorite songs.
Yeah.
He didn't play that one live. He played it off his record.
Yep.
And on Jam Chats, just to remind anyone who hasn't heard the show yet, we play songs off artist records and we have them play live. So this was one off his record.
Yep.
And this is one of the greatest songs he's got. It's so good. Mm-hmm. But so instead of having him play this live, we made him eat a full Built Bar, put it in his mouth, and try to sing it.
Yep.
We've got to play that clip, right? I mean, it's so funny. This is exclusive because nobody heard this. This is an outtake.
Here it is.
Yeah. I need you to open this.
Okay.
Put the whole thing in your mouth and sing the chorus of Deja Vu. Here you go. Let's hear it.
Oh, heaven bless. This is going to be great.
So I'll narrate this. Garen is opening the Built Bar. He's taking
The
it.
entire Built Bar?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole
There's no way, bro.
At least half. At least half.
Oh, get her.
I know. It's like eating chocolate bubble gum.
Oh, my
It really is. All right, Garen, get in there.
All right.
Come on, halfway in.
All right. Now start playing.
No, just sing it, right?
Hold up. Do you want me to sing or do you want to play it too?
Just go.
Sing and play.
Go.
I'm going to spit this out.
Do it. Go. He's stalling, guy.
He's
No,
totally
no. I'm not. I'm trying not to chew.
Go.
I can't even remember the chorus now.
I see you every night in my
Deja
head.
Vu.
What was that?
I see you.
Oh, yeah. I see you in my hand. That's my bed. Look at my phone. There's nothing there. This is horrible. Tell me what I should do. By you got me spinning. I can't do it. It's miserable. Deja vu. Whoa. Yeah, there you go. That's better.
Hey, Garen,
Turn it,
pretty
turn it.
good.
Nicely
job.
done, man.
Nice job.
Man.
So funny, man.
Garen, okay, props to
Chocolate
Garen.
bubble gum.
Props to Garen to doing that with us. That was great.
Really props to Garen Brett. That was an amazing episode, by the way, too.
Yes.
He was our leadoff
Yep.
episode. And what a great way to lead off the season with Garen Brett.
Yes.
He is he's taken off right now with his band, The King Will Come.
Yes. Yep. Everybody go check out The King Will Come.
Yeah, we need to get those guys on. Shout out to The King Will Come. Be on it.
Season
Maybe they'll
2.
come.
Maybe they'll come. Okay, so I want to take a little more serious note here.
Okay.
Out of the season, we had a lot of fun moments. We had a lot of really inspiring moments. What was a moment where you knew the song, you had heard the lyric, and kind of passed over it a little bit and just thought, oh yeah, that's what it means. And then after listening and talking with the artists, then you went, oh wow, there's so much more depth here.
The one that goes right to my head is Out of My Hands by Kristen Nelson.
Tell me about it.
So Kristen Nelson wrote that song Out of My Hands partly about a really, really touching story about her little brother who unfortunately passed away in a house fire.
Yeah.
And so devastating. That story was just so heartbreaking. I had heard the song Out of My Hands from her record.
Yeah.
So many times because it was one of my favorite off her record. There's one line on there that talks about a little bit of that story, a little bit of the feeling of letting go of her brother in that. And it's just like if you weren't paying attention to that line, you would almost miss it. But the story about that heartfelt, kind of heartbreaking story, and then going back to listen to the song, it was just incredibly, so much more powerful to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember that song when she played it live?
Look, just the way that she told that story before. Because that was pretty early on in the episode.
It was like the first thing she talked about.
It was the first thing that we talked about.
Like,
and it
wow.
was just like, okay, buckle up, you know? And I just remember listening to that song just aching, just having my heart ache for what she's gone through. But yet what I loved about it was it felt so healing, like what we were talking about. She was able to process it and she's been able to work through it. And of course, it's still something that she lives with, and that's a part of her. That's what makes Kristen Nelson who she is, right? But that song, I felt like just really helped her process, and it helped me process some of the things, that I have about my traumas, and I hope all of our listeners felt the same way, that, music can really heal and help us move on and become better people.
Barefoot child, carefree and wild, taken away too soon. Sad little girl, straighten your curls, grow up, yeah, you live and you lose. You're holding so tight, hoping you might make it stay, make it stay, make it stay. But life has gone like a kite into the sky, and then up, up and away. And it's out of my hands, out of my hands, out of my hands. It's out of my hands again.
There's another theme that this season had, and I'm just now thinking about this, Reimy. So we talked about sad songs, but we also had another theme about authenticity. And maybe it wasn't a theme more than just, I think we got guests that were very authentic. And that's kind of surprising because there is a lot of sort of songs that don't mean anything to anyone. They're sort of like manufactured hits. But I think, and we didn't really go about thinking that we had to get artists that were just really authentic, but we did.
Yeah.
I would say all the artists that we got really were true to themselves. They weren't trying to be somebody else. They weren't trying to be the next Taylor Swift or whoever.
Yeah.
They were just trying to be themselves. And I think that theme of having artists that were authentic was really, really just kind of surprisingly awesome.
Yeah. You know who was a great example of that, for me? Was Matt Harding.
Oh,
Matt is this
time.
incredible storyteller, this incredible musician. You meet the guy, and he's just so humble. And he feels like he just sits back and he goes, this is my life, and it didn't work out the way that I wanted, but I love my life.
When I was editing that podcast, I think we had recorded for 3 hours. 3 hours.
We cut out so much of that episode.
I turned to you, I remember editing that episode, and I said, Reimy, I want to use this whole episode because it is so packed full of stories. I could just sit and listen to Matt all day long, back in the 90s, the way Matt Harding would do shows, when he would do a solo show, not with his band, the Matt Harding Project, but he would kind of do that whole storyteller and then write a song and then play a song and then storyteller. And I remember he used to just have crowds hypnotized.
Yeah.
Just the way he tells stories is incredible. He's you can tell like he's just really eloquent.
Oh,
and
incredible.
and he's just a pure artist. I want to go back and listen to that episode again. It was, I don't want to say favorites, but it was
we can't say favorites
It was
here.
definitely one of my favorites of the season.
Yeah, really though. And I felt like when he was telling his stories about Ling Dongfu and his experiences across the world, I was just eating out of the palm of his hand. I mean, he was just the way he crafts stories. And what I loved about it, again, back to our authenticity, is how vulnerable he was. So I'm going to play a clip here where we had just finished the song Sunshine. And I just had kind of an off the whim, like, oh, that's an interesting thought right there at the end, where it changes to a little bit of a different key. And he goes, sunshine on a rainy day. And I just thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. I'll ask him about it. And anyway, you'll hear in the clip what his response was.
Let's hear it.
Just breathe in. Just breathe in all the beautiful sunshine. 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 On a rainy day.
Sunshine on a rainy day. I love that. I think that's a beautiful imagery, and I wasn't expecting that at the end because I was all in on the sunshine, and then the rainy day came right there at the end. Tell me a little bit more about that last lyric. What made you want to throw in that at the end?
So just being a really straight-laced kid, I don't think anybody in high school ever heard me swear. Like I played football, I played basketball, I ran track, I played rugby, but there was a fire inside of me that I didn't know about. I didn't know that I had it. I had kind of a rage, and it would come out in football. I'd flip my switch, and I'd just become like this killer. It was almost like I had a split personality. It's like I'm this kind of easygoing guy, ha 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 ha, and then switch, boom, and then I'm somebody else. And I think a lot of us, it's kind of human. Yeah. That's kind of, I guess, what helps us survive. And at that time, I didn't really know what the abyss was in my life. I found the abyss in Shanghai. I found my low, like my lowest of lows, my darkest of nights. And any movie that you've ever seen about any, Johnny Cash or Elvis, the archetype of the singer, the Nina Simone, the Janis Joplin, the whoever, there's the talent, the charisma, the attraction to substances.
Yeah.
And when I say substance, I'm talking about mostly alcohol. No one taught me how. It's something you have to know how to do. You can't just walk into that and think that you're going to be okay. So long story short, I just had been on a bender for years, moderating to the degree that I could function, and then just a series of events happened that I hit rock bottom, just done. And I almost feel like I died, like a part of me died, because I got to a point where if I was this miserable person that I felt like I experienced the misery of myself, like what an awful person. What died in my darkest abyss was the false recollection of my goodness. And I experienced my own low. And I think all of us in life, whether we know it or not, whether we go looking for it or it comes looking for you, we will all, in our own way, will all experience our lowest low. And will likely also experience our highest high. In a lot of ways, the songs that I wrote, in addition to being a vehicle that got me from place to place, they were almost like a journal that existed outside of time. There were words that came to me in songs that preceded events happening.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it happened a lot, where the lightning cuts asunder all your shame and all your pride. I wrote that in 2006. I was nobody. I'd seen my darkness. I lived my darkness. And I remembered a scripture. It said, pure love casteth out fear. And it came into my mind. And I was in my own psychological way, I was in darkness. And I saw like this little pinprick of light in my mind's eye. And it grew, and it grew. And it took months and months for me to not think that I was just the worst of worst people. And over time, I got out of it, was able to recuperate that which I thought I was on the verge of losing. From that point forward, the goodness, the deep treasures of my life were then manifest in the form of my wife and my children.
He tells a story, and I felt like I was there in the pit of darkness with him, and then I felt like I went out to the light, and
He talked about a single light.
Yes.
It was interesting because I said, and he said it wasn't really like a religious thing, it wasn't a spiritual thing, I guess, but he said it was just a light that had brought him out of the darkness.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
And look, that's what I love about music is it can be that light, and it connects you to this higher power, whatever anybody believes. Mm-hmm. We of course believe in Jesus Christ. That light we can connect to that light through music, mm-hmm. right? And whether or not it's Christian based or whether or not it's a religious music, you can still feel that light and that warmth.
There's something spiritual about music.
Yeah.
There really is.
So back to that as well, I want to reference another one of our episodes, and that was with Kaysen Renshaw.
Oh, right.
I've known Kaysen for a bit, and I've loved his music, and, he's had some Christian things that he's done with the EFY albums, mm-hmm. but with his own personal music, I felt like it wasn't really Christian.
It's mostly about relationships.
It's mostly about relationships, yeah. Right? But what really surprised me, back to a lyric that surprised us, was when he was playing Back to You. And I've always felt with that song, there's a part in the bridge where he says the sun comes, sun's shining, and I always felt like I could just feel the light. I could feel the sun coming through the clouds. And then I loved what he explained when we asked him about it. Here it is.
One day that sun's gonna shine down and dry every tear that we've cried, calm every fear on my mind now, until I find I'm not without you. I'm not without you. I'm not without you. I'm not without you. I'm not without you.
Kaysen, I got to admit, every time you hit that bridge, one day that sun's gonna shine, like just the chords and like everything, just I feel like the sun is actually coming out.
Heck yeah.
It's awesome.
It's really beautiful, Kaysen. Nice
That's
job.
the goal. I appreciate it, guys.
You play so great live.
Thank you.
The emotion, I can feel it. It's amazing.
Thanks, man. I feel like in all my songs, there's definitely some that kind of stay in the sad place the whole song, but for the most part, I try to add some hope in them. And that was the goal with the bridge in this song specifically, because like you said, the verses and the chorus are obviously kind of just this like longing for something and having that person back with you. That first line of the bridge specifically, though, I kind of wrote as like a double meaning. The sun being a reference to Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And just because that is something for me, when I think of when Christ comes again, it just, like, how can you not feel hopeful about that? And that was kind of what inspired a lot of that bridge, really. Not only the sun shining down, but drying every tear that we've cried and calming every fear on my mind. That's another one of those where you could hear that song and you could think it's about a relationship,
and then you hear the backstory behind it, and you realize like so much more deep in those lyrics and like spiritual and his relationship with God. And also, on a side note, I love that song from Kaysen because he's belting in that song. And he doesn't do that very often.
No, I love Kaysen's music for that, and now I feel like there's just this whole nother layer that I get to go back and listen to. That's what's great about music. I can go back and listen to it over and over again and find something new.
And you wouldn't get that without a show like Jam Chats.
That's right. That's right.
Just kind of a shameless plug for the show that you're watching right now. Sometimes you have to promo your own show even while you're watching the show.
Well, and look, this is our last episode of the season. We're going to go on a little bit of a hiatus and start prepping.
Not too long of a hiatus.
Look, we've got some new episodes coming down the line for you, so don't you worry. So in the meantime, I hope everybody goes to YouTube. Go find us at Jam Chats Pod, or you can find us anywhere where you get your podcasts. And I hope you go and check out all of our episodes. Share them with your friends, your family. It would really mean a lot to us.
It's like a little free Christmas gift for everybody.
Well, it's after Christmas, though, CJ.
It's like a free birthday present.
There it is. Okay, we're good.
Okay, there we go.
And don't forget, if you're a music artist as well, reach out to us. You can find our information at byuradio.org. We'd love to have new people on the show. We're always looking for new artists, so reach out to us. We'd love to talk.
Well, Reimy, that's probably all the time we have for this episode.
Yeah.
Such a fun time to kind of look back and reminisce on this season. It was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely love this season. And we want to close it out for everybody. Thank you so much for listening, subscribing to us on all of your podcast platforms. Go check us out on YouTube. And for now,
I'm CJ.
And I'm Reimy.
Good night.